Have you ever found yourself stuck in that perplexing situation where someone you care about suddenly starts to drift away, or even worse, starts ignoring you altogether? It feels like 1 minute you're the focus of their world, and the next you're practically invisible to them. It's like chasing the wind. The harder you try, the more elusive it becomes. Have you poured your heart into making them notice you, connect with you, or even miss your presence, but to no avail? Are you obsessing over every little interaction, waiting for a hint of interest, only to be greeted by utter silence? If this resonates with you, then today might just be a turning point. Before you think this is something straight out of a drama script, stay with me, because we're about to explore practical Stoic ways to address this head-on and take back control of your emotional well-being. We will delve into the art of detachment, exploring how ancient Stoic wisdom can help us navigate these emotionally charged waters with grace and resilience. Whether it's a fading friendship, a cooling romance, or a distant family member, understanding how to maintain your equanimity can transform your approach and bring peace where there was once turmoil. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple favor I'll ask of you is to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you don't skip any part of the video to fully grasp the Stoic methods we'll discuss that can genuinely change the way you relate to others and empower your personal growth. Join us as we unpack these timeless strategies and learn how to apply them to our modern lives. Let's get started. This is a cornerstone concept, not only in our everyday lives, but also deeply embedded in the philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches us the art of focusing on aspects within our control. Self-worth undeniably falls squarely into that category. It's something wholly personal, something that only you can define, assess, and cultivate. In a world where we often find ourselves seeking validation and approval from others, Stoicism brings us back to a crucial truth. Our value does not diminish because someone fails to see our worth. Now consider this scenario. You're expending all your energy trying to grab someone's attention, bending over backwards to make them notice you, appreciate you, or even just acknowledge your existence. This relentless pursuit can be draining. Why? Because when you hang your value on someone else's recognition, you hand them control over your self-esteem. But here's a powerful Stoic reminder from one of the greats, Marcus Aurelius. It is not the opinions of others that disturb us, but rather the opinion we have of their opinion. If they view you as just an option, why strive to be their priority? Stoicism teaches us to invert that perspective, to make ourselves the priority in our own lives. Pulling back when you feel undervalued isn't about playing games or manipulating feelings. It's about respecting yourself enough not to chase after those who overlook your worth. Think about it. The energy you spend chasing someone could be redirected to more personal growth, to activities and pursuits that reinforce your sense of self and personal achievements. When you start focusing on building your life and happiness independent of others' approval, you create a gap. This gap isn't just physical, it's emotional and psychological. It's in this space that those who once overlooked you might begin to perceive what they've been missing, not out of jealousy, but out of genuine recognition of your intrinsic value. This shift isn't just about making others realize your worth. It's about realizing it yourself. Stoic philosophy doesn't advocate for emotional coldness, but for a rational assessment of one's intrinsic value. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." By knowing and anchoring your worth, you set a clear destination for your life. You become less swayed by the fickle winds of others' opinions and more guided by your own compass. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardships, it's about mastering your responses to external circumstances. In our personal relationships, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing after someone, especially when they begin to pull away. This can feel like a natural instinct. Chasing seems like it might close the distance between us and those we care about. But Stoicism invites us to question and control these impulses. Consider the sage advice of Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone distances themselves from you, your instinctive reaction might be to pursue them, to bridge the gap immediately and restore closeness. However, Stoic wisdom advises the opposite. By not following, by not chasing, you exercise a high degree of self-control. This isn't about suppression of your feelings, but rather about managing your reactions in a way that aligns with your dignity and self-respect. Focusing on your own life and passions does more than just fill your time with enriching activities. It also shifts your mental and emotional energy from external validation to self-fulfillment. This shift is powerful. When you invest in yourself rather than in the futile effort of winning someone's attention or affection, you grow as an individual. This growth is not unnoticed. The paradox here is profound. Often, the less you chase someone, the more they might feel drawn to you. This isn't because you've manipulated their feelings, but because you've transformed into a source of positive, self-sustaining energy. Creating a gap by stopping the chase does not mean creating distance out of spite or as a game-playing strategy. It means giving space both to yourself and the other person to reassess and recognize the value of your presence in their lives. As Marcus Aurelius puts it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In practicing this detachment, you're not detaching from caring about others. You're detaching from the adverse effects their actions have on your peace of mind. This Stoic approach of stopping the chase teaches us that the space we sometimes fear, the gap that appears when we stop pursuing someone, can actually be the space where curiosity and genuine interest grow. It's in this space where both parties can reflect on the relationship's value and what they bring to each other's lives. If they start to wonder about your absence, it's often because they're beginning to see what they had taken for granted. Stopping the chase isn't about losing connection with people. It's about reconnecting with yourself and allowing others the opportunity to miss and value you. This strategic pause not only bolsters your self-worth, but also can refresh and renew the dynamics of your relationships. It's a powerful testament to the fact that sometimes the strongest move you can make is to stand still with dignity and let the world adjust around you. The Stoic philosophers, such as Seneca and Epictetus, emphasize the importance of fortifying our inner selves as a fortress against the trials and tribulations of the external world. They understood that the most profound strength one can possess is not visible. It is the tranquility and resilience nestled within our minds and spirits. When faced with the challenge of someone distancing themselves from us, it's a natural reaction to feel unsettled or even distressed. However, Stoicism offers a different perspective. See this as a golden opportunity to bolster your emotional resilience. This doesn't mean you should shut out the world or ignore your feelings. Instead, engage more deeply with activities and practices that nourish your soul and elevate your self-esteem. Whether it's diving into books that challenge and expand your mind, practicing meditation to achieve clarity and calmness, or pursuing hobbies that fulfill you creatively and spiritually, each step taken is a step towards a more resilient self. The Stoics believed in the power of self-sufficiency. They argued that true contentment comes from within, and that external circumstances can only disturb this peace if we let them. By cultivating inner peace, you're not merely adapting to solitude or rejection, you're transforming how you interact with the world. You're learning to rely more on your own judgment and less on the validation of others. This inner peace is incredibly attractive. It radiates from you like a beacon. People are drawn to those who exude a serene confidence, those who seem unfazed by the chaos of everyday life. Inner peace also manifests in how you handle relationships. If you are at peace with yourself, your reactions to others become more measured and thoughtful. This isn't about becoming emotionally distant, but about maintaining an equilibrium that allows you to respond to situations, including personal setbacks, with a calm that is both disarming and inspiring to others. Your interactions no longer oscillate between extreme emotional highs and lows. Instead, they are characterized by a steady, reassuring presence that others find comforting and safe. Moreover, cultivating inner peace through Stoic practices encourages a form of mental and emotional hygiene that keeps you not just functioning, but thriving. Activities that enhance self-esteem and personal fulfillment are not just distractions, but essential elements in building a life that you can be proud of, one that isn't easily shaken by external pressures or losses. Cultivating inner peace is about aligning yourself with the Stoic ideal of autarky, or self-sufficiency, which posits that the best life is one that is independent of external goods and others' opinions. It empowers you to live with dignity, reduces the impact of negative emotions, and enables you to move through life's challenges with grace and poise. As you build and nurture this inner sanctum, you not only insulate yourself from the vagaries of relational dynamics, but also become a pillar of strength for those around you. This serene resilience is not just magnetic, it is transformative, both for you and for everyone you interact with. In the bustling noise of our everyday interactions, silence can seem like a retreat, but in the world of Stoicism, it's considered a profound form of engagement. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius taught that true power lies in restraint and control over one's reactions, rather than external noise or drama. When you choose to be silent and maintain your peace, rather than chase after someone who is pulling away, you're embodying a deep sense of self-assuredness. This silence speaks volumes. It's not a void, it's a space of reflection and personal strength. This might feel counterintuitive, especially in our fast-paced world, where shouting to be heard often seems the norm. However, silence can be an incredibly potent response. It communicates strength, self-awareness, and a firm understanding of your own worth. Moreover, silence gives you the chance to collect your thoughts, understand your feelings, and process what's happening without the cloud of external influence. It allows you to maintain perspective and not get swept away in the emotional tide of the moment. By refusing to engage in a chase, you create an environment where both you and the other person can reflect on the relationship from a place of calm. In this way, silence can serve as a catalyst for re-evaluation, not just for the other person, but for you as well. It allows space for clarity to emerge. The act of not chasing gives the other person a chance to contemplate what it is they are losing and perhaps instigates a shift in their perception of you. They might start to see you as a person of value rather than just an option, leading to a renewed appreciation and desire for connection. While it may be difficult at first to remain silent in the face of uncertainty, remember that every time you choose to step back and refrain from the chase, you reinforce your own self-worth. Your silence is a powerful statement. You are not desperate for their attention, you are not defined by their affection, and you value yourself enough to wait for connections that are mutually fulfilling. In this silence, you find not just peace, but also a newfound respect from those around you. By becoming the embodiment of the Stoic principle of control, you cultivate relationships that are based on mutual appreciation rather than neediness. This creates a dynamic that invites others to reconsider their stance and perhaps take steps to bridge any gaps that may have developed. Ultimately, remember that relationships are a two-way street, And when you embrace silence and stop chasing, you empower not only yourself, but also the other person to reflect on what truly matters. By fostering a deep sense of self-worth and utilizing silence as a form of engagement, you're laying the groundwork for deeper, more meaningful connections. You're teaching others how to respect your time and energy, and in the process, enhancing your own emotional landscape, paving the way for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. So, the next time you find yourself in that unsettling position of feeling overlooked or undervalued, instead of chasing after those who don't see your worth, consider stepping back. Embrace the power of silence and cultivate your inner peace. You might just find that those who matter will take notice, and the relationships that truly enrich your life will flourish in ways you never imagined. Remember, you have the power to shape your reality and your relationships. Exercise it wisely, but are grounded in your own principles and self-worth. This isn't about ignoring problems or giving the silent treatment in a traditional sense. Rather, it's about selectively disengaging from the cycles of reaction and counter-reaction that often escalate conflicts or misunderstandings. Implementing silence as a strategy means you consciously decide where to invest your energy. If someone is pulling away, or if you find yourself in a scenario where the usual response would be to seek closure or demand explanations, choosing silence can be powerful. This choice aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing only on what you can control. You can't control another person's feelings or actions, but you can control how much you let these external factors disrupt your inner peace. Moreover, silence can serve as a mirror, reflecting people's own behaviors back at them without the distortion of your reactions. It gives others the space to confront the reality of their actions, and often this leads to introspection on their part. They might begin to question why you're not reacting as expected, which can lead them to a deeper understanding of the impact of their actions. This kind of self-reflection is less likely to occur if you are actively engaging in an emotional tug-of-war. Silence is also a form of emotional discipline that is deeply active. Contrary to popular belief, it requires awareness, intention, and control to maintain silence when instincts urge you to speak. Stoicism teaches us that the wise person uses their words sparingly, understanding that the impact of words comes not from their volume, but from their depth and timing. By practicing silence, you allow yourself the space to reflect, to think before you speak, and to choose responses that align with your values rather than your impulses. This strategic use of silence can transform the way you interact with the world. It's not about withdrawing into yourself, but about reasserting control over your emotional world. When done correctly, it's a declaration of independence from the expectations and actions of others, a way to reclaim your power and dictate the pace of your interactions. Silence, in this context, is not just a pause. It's a powerful statement in itself, emphasizing that you are a person of depth, self-respect, and profound inner strength. The Stoics, like Epictetus, often taught that our actions reveal who we truly are, far more than our words ever could. In the context of personal dynamics, especially when dealing with relationships where you might feel taken for granted or overlooked, embodying this principle can radically alter perceptions and relationships. Imagine living your life with such authenticity and engagement that your very existence becomes a testament to your self-sufficiency and joy. It's about doing more than merely saying you're fine. It's about being an active participant in your own life. Engage in new hobbies that challenge you, travel to places that intrigue you, and surround yourself with people who encourage and inspire you. Each of these actions contributes to building a version of you that is not just surviving day to day, but is thriving and evolving. By focusing on personal growth and pursuing activities that enrich your life, you naturally begin to radiate confidence and contentment. This transformation doesn't go unnoticed for those who may have distanced themselves from you or taken you for granted. Seeing you thrive independently serves as a powerful reminder of what they're missing. It's not about making them feel left out or regretful. Rather, it's about showing that your happiness and fulfillment do not hinge on their presence or approval. You're defining your life on your own terms, which in itself is a powerful draw. This strategy of showing, not telling, shifts the dynamic from one where you might have once sought validation to one where you are in full control of your narrative. You become the protagonist in your own story, not a supporting character in someone else's. This doesn't just change how others see you, it fundamentally changes how you see yourself. By investing in your interests and broadening your horizons, you reinforce your self-worth and independence. In practice, this means that every time you choose to learn something new or visit a new place, you're not just collecting experiences, you're building a life that's rich with personal fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us that the good life is built on virtue and wise choices. When your life choices reflect your commitment to self-improvement and happiness, you embody the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature, your own true nature. Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's hardships, it's about actively shaping your life according to your principles and values. The Stoics, such as Epictetus, often emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control, our responses, our decisions, our narratives. So how do you start to rewrite your story? It begins with a shift in your role from being passive to becoming proactive. If you find yourself waiting for others to recognize your worth or make decisions that impact your happiness, it's time to change that plotline. This doesn't mean you should disregard others, but rather prioritize your goals, your growth, and your values above external validation. Being sought after in this context doesn't necessarily mean becoming the center of everyone's attention, but rather becoming a person who attracts the right kind of attention because of their integrity, their actions, and their undeniable respect for themselves. This kind of allure isn't cultivated through manipulative tactics. It's developed through genuine self-improvement and a commitment to living a life that you value. Realignment involves looking at your current life script. What parts of your narrative have been written under the influence of others' expectations or decisions? Where have you compromised too much? And how can you start setting boundaries that better reflect your personal values? It's about showing, through your actions, and perhaps more importantly, your indifference to their absence, that you are complete and content with or without their approval. This isn't about arrogance, it's about authenticity. To reclaim your narrative effectively, you must embody the values you respect. If independence, wisdom, and peace are what you seek, every choice should reinforce these qualities. Adopt habits that build your knowledge, engage in activities that calm your spirit, and interact in ways that reflect your autonomy. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "Waste no time arguing about what a good man should be one." This encapsulates the Stoic belief in embodying the virtues you admire rather than merely discussing them. In practice, reclaiming your narrative might look like turning down invitations that don't align with your interests, or it could involve pursuing a long-postponed dream that reignites your passion. It might mean setting firm boundaries in relationships or taking steps toward a career that fulfills you. Each of these actions writes a line in your story that says you know your worth and you're not afraid to live a life that reflects it. Reclaiming your narrative is about taking control of your story's direction and being the architect of your destiny. It's a powerful and liberating process that not only transforms how others view you, but fundamentally reshapes how you view yourself. By living a life that's aligned with your deepest values, you not only gain the respect of others, but more importantly, you earn your own. Drawing upon the wisdom of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who teaches us to first envision who we aspire to be and then to act upon that vision, this step is about embodying your highest self. The idea here isn't just about being admired or pursued. It's about becoming so engaged in your own life's journey that anything less than what you deserve simply doesn't suit you anymore. To be the prize means to live in such a way that your life itself becomes a testament to your value. It's about reaching a state where you're so invested in your personal development, your passions, and your contributions to the world that you naturally elevate your status in your own eyes and in the eyes of others. This isn't about arrogance or inaccessibility. It's about authenticity and alignment with your deepest values. When you live as though you truly are the prize, you radiate confidence and self-respect, which in turn attracts genuine respect and admiration from others. When Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do," he encapsulated the essence of Stoic action. It starts with a vision of oneself. Envision yourself as someone worthy of respect, love, and joy. Now, what does such a person do? They invest time in what enriches them, cultivate relationships that uplift them, contribute to their community in meaningful ways, and pursue goals that fulfill them. In practical terms, being the prize might mean advancing in your career because you're passionate about your work, not just because you want to impress your peers or superiors. It might mean choosing hobbies that challenge and excite you rather than activities that you think will make you more attractive to others. It's about making lifestyle choices that reflect your worth and values, not those dictated by societal expectations or superficial standards. This step also involves a subtle yet powerful shift in how you interact with others. If someone reaches out to you, your response should come from a place of self-assurance and genuine engagement with life, not desperation or loneliness. This doesn't mean playing hard to get. It means being hard to forget, because your life is a reflection of your inner richness and vitality. You're not just out of reach because you're avoiding others. You're just naturally moving forward, propelled by your own goals and enthusiasm for life. Living as though you are the prize is ultimately about self-empowerment. It's about creating a life so fulfilling that being chased becomes irrelevant because you are too busy chasing your own aspirations. It's about letting go of the need for external validation and embracing a profound internal validation that comes from knowing you are living your best, most authentic life. When you adopt this mindset, you find that you are not only reaching your potential, but also inspiring others to reconsider their own paths and perhaps start chasing their true selves as well.